As an organization digitizes, it generates massive amounts of data. But collecting all that information without a way to control it creates severe exposure. You need a way of taking those chaotic, vulnerable data points and snapping them into a secure framework. To solve this, you need a formal data governance policy. It is the core document that dictates exactly how your organization handles its digital assets. We are going to construct one of these policies from scratch, using a proven 6-step build process developed by Professor Richard Boateng. Keep in mind, this document is a high-level strategic blueprint. It sets the baseline rules, the floor, not the ceiling. You will leave the granular software configurations to your separate technical IT standards. By writing this policy, you take raw, decentralized data and put it under strict organizational control, turning a major liability into a protected, trusted asset. Here is step 1. Step 1 is to benchmark existing policies. You start by reviewing established frameworks used by real institutions in your sector to determine what your own policy needs to cover. For example, look at this aerial view of the University of Michigan. To secure a decentralized institution of this scale, their policy scope has to be broad enough to cover students, faculty, and guests, all while supporting research and healthcare data simultaneously. Once your scope is set, step 2 is building a 3-tier governance structure. A policy is just words on paper, unless specific people are held accountable for enforcing it. We distribute that accountability across a 3-tier hierarchy, separating authority from daily execution. At the very top are your data owners. These are senior executives who dictate the overall strategy and hold final approval over the policy itself. In the middle are the data stewards. These are mid-level business experts who serve as operational guardians, enforcing the daily rules and resolving data conflicts between departments. At the base are your data custodians. This is your IT staff, the system engineers who deploy the actual technical safeguards, like managing access logs and maintaining database backups. Step 3 is setting your guiding principles. You will draft 3 to 8 core rules, such as integrity and transparency, that guide the behavior of everyone on that pyramid. By dividing decision rights across 3 layers and anchoring them to shared principles, you build in a system of checks and balances. The business teams pushing for speed and the IT teams pushing for security are forced to collaborate rather than clash. Step 4 is creating the data classification scheme. Not all data carries the same level of risk, which means it cannot all sit behind the same armor. To sort this out, we use a data taxonomy matrix. This tool categorizes your information by its sensitivity level, who gets to view it, and how long it should be kept. For instance, a basic HR profile containing names and hire dates is low risk. You classify it as internal and grant read-only access to all employees indefinitely. Contrast that with employee financial details, like bank accounts. That domain is classified as restricted. Access shrinks to specific read and write permissions and is limited exclusively to your payroll managers. Step 5 is applying a reusable schema. You take the scope, roles, principles, and classification rules you just defined and slot them neatly into a standardized master document layout. Remember to maintain high-level language in this document. Keep the focus strictly on organizational rules and avoid writing out granular IT procedures. The final step, step 6, is localization. A generic framework leaves you legally vulnerable unless it directly addresses your specific national context. You must add a regulatory compliance section naming the laws you answer to. If your institution operates in Ghana, for example, you must explicitly write in your compliance with the National Data Protection Act and the Cybersecurity Act. Because the policy is now anchored to sovereign law, it ceases to be a list of theoretical suggestions. It serves as a legally binding shield against regulatory fines. You have successfully translated a blank page into a comprehensive, multi-tiered governance blueprint. Your next immediate action is to push this draft through the IT policy lifecycle. This means submitting the document for consultation and securing board approval. Once the board approves it, you roll the policy out to the entire workforce, with comprehensive training to ensure everyone understands the new rules. To solidify your understanding of these specific compliance frameworks, scan this QR code to explore the Learning in Tune project. With a localized, fully approved policy driving your operations, your enterprise commands its digital environment. You have built the necessary foundation for long-term institutional trust.